This jury of our community on August 27th found each of you guilty, well, found you, Mr. Beasley, guilty of aggravated murder, conspiracy to commit murder, murder, felonious assaults on the victim, the two daughters, and the driver, the Uber driver, all with gun specifications. And we talked about the merger of those offenses. And before I proceed with the sentencing, I always like to start with what is the purpose and principles of sentencing. And that is, the purpose and principles of sentence is that I must comply with Revised Code 2929.11a. And that is to punish the offender, protect the public from future crimes by you and others, using the minimum sanctions that this court determines that accomplishes the purpose without imposing an unnecessary burden on state or local government resources. I always have to consider the need for incapacitation, deterrence, rehabilitation, and restitution. The sentence I impose should be commensurate with and not demeaning to the seriousness of your conduct, its impact on the victims, and consistent with sentences for similar crimes by similar offenders. I'm not sentencing you, gentlemen, based on your race, your ethnicity, your gender, or your religion. Do you understand that, Mr. Beasley?
Yes.
Do you understand that, Mr. Skanes?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Gentlemen, these crimes, these are horrible crimes in and of themselves. And the details of the crimes that you committed are even worse. We've seen a week-long trial of both of you stalking Alyson Appling-France for days, hunting her. And thank goodness for the great work of the Cleveland Police Department and their homicide unit, because they showed us this hunting. Their crime strategy unit, the videos, the cameras in this community showed both of you out there hunting, stalking this victim. And what's sad is on January 5th, you tried, it didn't get done. The messages and the text messages and the evidence that came into this trial showed that you were hired to kill this lady. This community and this jury and this court watched the actions that both of you took on January 10th as Miss Alyson Appling-France and her two children went shopping at Target. And when they returned home, watching as you, Mr. Beasley, got out of that van and you, Mr. Skanes, sitting in that truck as you brutally executed her in front of her children. It was cold, it was calculated murder, completely devoid of any humanity. Even now, neither of you have shown one bit of remorse to anyone here. You were given a chance to participate in a pre-sentence investigation to help explain how you both, having been raised in good neighborhood with good schools and good families, became so dead inside that you could gun down a young mother in front of her small children for some money. Think about it. You sold your lives for that bit of money you got to kill a young mother. You value your own lives as little as you valued Miss Appling-France life. True justice in this case is beyond the reach of this court. But this court values lives, especially the lives of little children you terrorized and scarred when they had to witness their own mother getting gunned down, inches away from them. These little girls cannot live in fear that someday you're free in this world. So based on that, based on the evidence this court has heard, Mr. Beasley, for the record, the state has merged counts 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 12 with count 1. And count 1 is aggravated murder. The potential sentence I'm looking at, your potential sentence is life with the possibility of parole after 20, 25, 30, or life without parole. As for the gun specifications, I'm going to sentence you 3 years on the first firearm specification and 6 years on the firearm specification. So that's 9 years on that firearm specification to a sentence of life without parole. As for count number 9, felonious assault, I'm going to sentence you to 8 years, and that is a Reagan-Tokes sentence because it's an indefinite prison sentence with a prison term of 4 years. That's half the prison term for the max of 12 years. For the total state of prison term on that count, 11 to 15 years, and there's a 3-year gun specification that's a count on that count. So that would be a total prison sentence on that count for 11 to 15 years. As for count number 10, the felonious assault, I'm going to also sentence you to 8 years with a 4 years, half the prison term, indefinite prison term of 4 years. So that is a total net term of 12 years on count number 10. Count number 11, I'm going to sentence you again to 8 years with a 4-year indefinite prison term of half of that prison term for a maximum of 12 years. Again, that total time for that would be 8 to 12 years on that count. On count number 13, having weapon while under disability, that's a felony of the 3rd degree. I'm going to sentence you to 36 months, and I'm going to run that concurrent to count 1. Count number 9, 10, and 11 will be served consecutive to the aggravated murder, which is, again, life without parole after, well, it's 9 years with parole eligibility with life without parole. I think I said that correctly. Mr. Filiacho, is that accurate?
It is, Judge, with regard to count 1, and then there will be one other 3-year firearm specification, I believe, on count 9.
Count number 9, correct.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Richardson, I have to ask, does Mr. Beasley have the money or means at this time to hire a lawyer or have a lawyer for appeal on this case?
No, he does not, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Beasley, do you have the money to hire anyone in regards to help you on this appeal? All right. The court will appoint the public defender to represent you on this matter, and this matter will be, a transcript will be ordered at state's expense. I'll give you credit for any time served on this matter, and wish you luck in your future. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thanks. All right. You could take him out. Mr. Skanes, in regard to your case, I have to make a statement here that you're just as guilty as the shooter. You were in that car. You're the guy, the bank driver, the guy who's sitting in the car as the guy goes into the bank and robs the bank. You're just as guilty as the guy who was robbing the bank. You were complicit in this murder, and this court found you guilty of those offenses. I found that you acted in concurrence with Mr. Beasley, and the fact that you stood here and tried to act like you had no idea what was going on is disgusting to this court, because you knew, you were there. It was clear as day what was going on in that van. And thank God for video cameras, because the video cameras of the trucking company showed you sitting in that van, sitting there with Mr. Beasley, sitting in that gas station talking with Mr. Beasley, pumping gas for that car or that truck. And then after that horrific murder, not saying a word. You're just as guilty as far as this court's concerned. So in that regard, Mr. Skanes, I'm going to impose the same sentence. On count one, I'm going to sentence you to life without parole with a 3 and a 6-year 9 gun specification. As for count number 9, I'm going to sentence you a sentence of 8 years with an indefinite prison sentence of 4 years, half the prison term, for a maximum sentence of 12. That total prison sentence will be 11 to 15 years. Count 10, felonious assault, I'm going to sentence you to 8 to 12 years. And count 11, I'm going to sentence you again to 8 to 12 years. I'm going to run counts 9, 10, 11 consecutive to count 1. And I'm going to ask Mr. Skanes, do you have the money or means, or Mr. Dubiak, does he have the money or means to hire a lawyer at this time?
As it stands now, the answer is no, Your Honor. However, that could change.
All right. So I'm going to assign a counsel to represent you. Mr. Skanes, do you have the money or means to hire anyone?
No.
All right. I'm going to hire, I'll appoint a lawyer and order the transcript at state's expense. I'm going to ask Mr. Filiatro, Mr. Dubiak, is there anything else that I need to address at this time? I'll give you credit for time served also. All right. Thank you. That adjourns this court hearing.